The good, the bad, and the odd. It's a thing.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd. Comfy Chair, our second Comfy Chair episode, alright? The last one seemed to be fairly successful, so we're going to stick with this. This is going to be for March 2018. And I'll put all our contact details at the end, but we are on Stitcher. For one, to mention one particular thing. And also always welcome iTunes reviews, which I haven't checked the last couple of weeks. There may have been some, but if I'll have a check, and if there's any, we'll talk about them next time. But okay, to get in a comfy chair, let's pull up the comfy chair.
Get the comfy chair!
Right, my Sam, I didn't welcome you, didn't I? Okay, so if we're following the format we followed last time, we're going to have one kind of bad or odd movie, show, game, whatever, followed by 4 good ones, right? So, shall I go first on this one?
I don't mind.
Okay, my first one is a found footage film, British found footage film called Paranormal Farm. Now, this is on Prime. And it's only came out 2017, and it's a bit Ghost Hunters meet Blair Witch is probably the way to describe it, and it's a lone man who's just pretty much just taken up the hobby of ghost hunting. He's had one case before this one that we kind of witness in this film. And in this one, he goes to a farm, which is somewhere like Kent or somewhere like that. And there's a couple of farmers there, and they got their story about a lost daughter and weird happenings. And he's kind of doing it. Now, this is a pretty amateur production, even though it's on Prime. I think most of it's shot with iPhones, right?
Oh, good.
But there's probably slightly better cameras than that, but it looked good. But an iPhone camera is pretty good these days, right? And pretty much he gets to the farm, starts investigating, and weird stuff starts happening pretty much straight away. And it's got a couple of quite funny and quite startling jump scares that come out of nowhere that did make I did jump and I did laugh. And there's one point he's kind of wandering around in the dark woods. He's just talking to himself on the phone saying, "Oh, I'm a bit disoriented." Oh, and this guy's camp as well.
Oh boy.
Which kind of adds to the fun. And he's kind of just walking around his head, talking about the woods, and said, "Oh, there might be something weird down here." And just as he's talking, this white face appears right behind him, and he can see it in the phone because he's looking at himself. And he goes, "Ah!" and runs off. And there's a very funny section where he's all breathless and he's going, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't realise it was going to be like this. I thought we'd get some orbs." And so, because all these really weird things keep happening. But I quite enjoyed it because the lead, who is also the filmmaker, is quite charismatic and interesting to watch. So it kind of helps. It helps. Whenever the camera's on him, it kind of works. When the camera's not on him, not so much. And when he's not in the scene, there's a few where he's not even there. They're dreadful because the people can't act. The other people can't act. But I kind of like it. It did crap the bed in the final act, but I kind of enjoyed it. It's fairly the filmmaker is called Carl Medland, and I'm gonna watch out for this guy because I think if he could do this on nothing, he's got some potential to make better films with something if he gets his hands on any money. So I quite enjoyed it. It's on Prime, as I say. Anyway, back over to you.
Okay, now my first thing is it's a bad one. It's not an odd one. It's perhaps a bad one. It's a game that's just recently come out, like the 24th, I want to say, last month.
Yeah.
It's Sea of Thieves for Xbox One and Windows.
Okay.
It's a cooperative pirate game, but there's not much to do in it.
Okay.
Like it's you can get these sort of long form quests called voyages, but all they are is like you find an item, you bring it back to the person you got the quest from, and you turn it in. That's all of them.
That sounds bad.
So, yeah.
Sounds like Skyrim, but a really boring version of it or something.
Yeah, but it's like it can be up to 4 players all having to manage one ship. and it's always online, so you can run into other people that might try and steal the stuff you want to turn in.
Yeah.
So and they get the reward instead. So there's a lot of actual like piracy involved.
But it's a bit dull, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit dull because that's about it.
It sounds almost like Elite, but cooperative and but on the sea rather than in space.
Yeah, the only other major thing is there's a kraken.
Ooh.
But it's completely random, and what happens is the sea goes black and some tentacles come out and start like swinging at your boat, and you can drive it off, and that's about it. There's no reward for beating it.
Oh,
that's
okay.
it.
Yeah, it sounds dull. It sounds dull as anything.
Yeah.
This isn't on my radar, so I don't know anything about it, really.
See, I played all the betas, and it was like, wow, this is pretty fun. I can't wait till we see like the full game, because there's not much to do here, but I'm having fun with friends. And then it got to the full game, and we all got this thing that Microsoft had. For some reason, they decided to put their brand new full price, like 50 quid game, and make it available so you can get it for free.
Maybe they're trying to get a word of mouth, or just because with multiplayers, the longevity of multiplayers is getting people first involved, right? You're not looking to make a win right from the beginning. You're looking for people to sign up to keep playing forever, kind of. Aren't you?
But it didn't.
Sounds bad.
It hasn't made a good first impression. So
okay,
it might be good given time to like update and such, but at the moment, don't like get it.
It sounds a bit like the pirate version of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
It does.
But the thing is, No Man's Sky is apparently pretty good now.
It's pretty good now, yeah. They've upgraded it. So maybe this will be good one day.
It doesn't help that they've got Rare, the company that developed it, as like one of the original like game developers. They made stuff like Banjo and Kazooie, some of the early Donkey Kong stuff.
Yeah.
And so they had a lot of like, this was their first game since doing Kinect stuff.
Right.
And everyone was like, ooh, this could be good, this could be good. No. Oh dear, they've shit the bed.
Dear. Okay.
So, and also they had this thing on, because the reason you turn stuff in for certain people is to build up your reputation with them. So there's the gold hoarders who hunt gold, hoarder souls who want skeletons, and the merchants who trade stuff.
Yeah.
If you get to a certain ranks in those, you become a pirate legend. And Rare have been touting that like the first pirate legend like will get their name put in the game, sort of thing.
Okay.
And then a streamer went and boosted straight to the legend on like the second or third day it was released.
Wow! So that's
and it's
kind
like,
of that challenge.
Yeah, and everyone's basically like, "You better not put it in the game."
Whoa!
No wants him that sort of like that to be their first.
It's just trolling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. All done with that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first good one is a Hammer film, and we'll get to this in our Hammer series, but we got months before we get to this, because this is a tail end of Hammer. They're like second or third to last film before they closed studios in the mid-70s, before they reopened in 2010 or whatever it is. And this is... Basically, it's half horror, half swashbuckler, and it's Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. Have you seen this one?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's Caroline Munro's in it. I mean, this year, it came out in 74, and I think she was in Golden Voyage of Sinbad in 73, I want to say, and a few other things. But she was also in this as like the love interest. Essentially, Captain Kronos is an ex-military captain, sort of 19th century this is, who is a professional vampire hunter. And he's got a sidekick who's a hunchback called Grost, and who's like very knowledgeable about vampires. In fact, Captain Kronos says, I'm quoting Captain Kronos here, what he doesn't know about vampires you couldn't fit into a flea's codpiece. There you go. How about that one? And it's a proper rip-roaring swashbuckler. It's made by the guy, Brian Clemens, who made a lot of the old Avengers series, with Steed and Emma Peel and stuff like that. So it's got that kind of vibe. He's got a katana as well as like a saber. Not a saber, but like a fencing sword. So he carries two swords. One of them is a katana, which is bizarre. So he was killing vampires with a katana like 25 years before Blade. And it's just a lot of fun. There's some good stuff. There's some weak stuff. Some of the fight choreography is a little choppy and weak. Some of it's excellent. It's a bit weird. That how inconsistent it is in that. And there's also scenes in it that are straight out of spaghetti westerns. There's one bit, three guys are kind of being rude to his hunchback sort of sidekick, and he's sort of saying, "That's rude." You know, there's a scene where he's smoking a cigar, and he goes, "That's rude. After all, I don't call you Big Mouth." And do you know, it feels like a Clint Eastwood film at that point. And there's various fights going on, and it's kind of cool. And also, there's this whole thing of there's lots of different species of vampires, not just bloodsuckers. For example, in this film, they encounter youth stealers, not bloodsuckers. They actually suck the life force out of people, turn young girls into hags, old hags, you know, who die. So I liked it. It had a real lot of potential, and I think Hammer were desperate at this point to try and come up with something that would make some money, and they kind of saw this as the first of a potential franchise, but it didn't make any money. They just put it out in a weird... They didn't market it properly and whatever, and it really didn't do that well. But I kind of like it, and it's got its flaws, but I really enjoy it. I mean, I think it's more of a pleasure to think about what it could have been than what it was in some ways. But Caroline Munro's in it, and she's gorgeous. She's absolutely... And there's some funny lines. There's one point... Kronos gets her out of the stocks. She's in the stocks because she danced on the Sabbath, right? And he cracks her out and says, "You can come with us if you like." And then they get to a town, and like she's kind of looking at Kronos, giving him the glad eye, and she says, and he's saying, "Which way are you going?" And she goes, "I'll come with you if you'll have me." And Kronos goes, "Oh, I'll have you." There's some of that, right? And that's some good stuff. Benedict Cumberbatch's mum's in it at one point. The lady that is Benedict Cumberbatch's mum. And I kind of like... There's a lot of good stuff in this, and I'd love to see this remade. It's a class act. There's a lot of... The only thing wrong with it is the first time you see it, the guy playing Kronos is a German fella, and he comes across as a bit uncharismatic, and I think that's a problem with the dubbing and stuff. I think they overdubbed him because his accent was too thick, and it kind of feels a bit like he hasn't got much personality. But he looks good in the part, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Also, I should also mention, I've also read a comic of this. There's a comic just come out. In fact, I think the trade edition is not even out yet, but it's on like Kindle and Comixology. And I read it, and it was very good. It was like the further adventures of Kronos, and he goes into a whole village full of vampires and sort of has to deal with them. And it's really good. It's a really good little comic. I'd recommend it. Anyway, that's my first good one. Right.
Okay. My first good one is a manga that I've started reading called Grashros.
How do you spell that?
Grashros. That's it.
Grashros.
Yeah.
Grashros.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of... It's about cavemen and the sort of ongoing struggle of surviving in the Stone Age, really.
Okay.
But it follows this one child, Aku, who was born on like a particular night that the village shaman said was cursed.
Ooh.
And so the whole village was out to get him. And he was like, "I'm going to redeem myself. My father was a big hunter. He was like the best hunter in the village before he had to I think he lost a limb, like killing a massive rhino monster to as a sacrifice to the gods so that he wouldn't be cursed. But everyone in the village still hates him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm going to be a better hunter than everyone." And he goes out and he finds these creatures that he dubs the Grashros, which are mammoths. And he tries to hunt one, and it chases him back to the village and destroys everything.
Oh, man. So everyone hates him, right?
Like, even to the point... No, they're all dead. His dad's able to kill this one, But then it's revealed that this mammoth was a baby, and its parents show up and kill everyone else. So it's pretty much just Aku left. And it's him, like, chasing the Grashros, like, trying to get his own revenge on them.
Okay, so it's like a quest stroke revenge story.
Yeah. And he comes across, like, all sorts of weird tribes. Like, there's one that's kind of... Oh, is it Lord of the Flies? That's the, like, kids...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one that's like that, where if you get over... I think it's 20, you immediately become a slave to the tribe, sort of thing. And it's like... he keeps running into these weird villages and slowly starts to build up his own, like, little troop.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the artwork. The artwork looks really nice, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's really pretty. And it's got a kind of Tarzan vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's like... It's got a lot of them explaining, well, the world in their own language. And it's a bit more like... Dune or Princess of Mars in that regard.
Oh, okay, so they're like... roaming across like a landscape they're not familiar with, but crewing people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks good. And it looks like it's sort of multicultural group as well from the artwork I can see, right? Cool. Yeah. So you'd recommend it? That sounds good, actually. I recommend it. Yeah, nice. Okay, my next one is X-Files Season 11. Finished not long ago. I nearly talked about it last time, but I think as we were recording, I realised the 6 episodes I've seen was only half a season, and they just restarted it. They basically split it in half at episode 6 and did 4 more after that. So, and I wasn't expecting that, so it's kind of, I thought I'd hold off to now. There was one episode in particular that was really good in this season, really good, called The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat. That one was written by Darren Morgan, who tends to be the best X-Files writer. His episodes are all absolutely amazing, all of them. And this is no exception. In this one, it was all about how perception can sort of change things, and there was also this subplot of they had a device that could change people's memories, and this guy pops up and starts saying, "Hey, Skulls," and she's like, "Don't call me that," because that's what I always call you, Skulls. And it appears that this bloke was always on in the X-Files as a third member of the team, but somehow their memories have been changed so that everything they remember is just the two of them.
Okay.
And they use that as premise, and it's amazing. I mean, that sounds like goofy, bad, potentially bad, but no, man, it's really good. In fact, there's one funny scene where there's a infamous episode where there's killer cats, which is like most fans think is not a great episode. And at one point, this guy just looks at the camera during the middle of that a clip from that episode with him. They transpose him into real old episodes. It's super fun. He actually looks at the camera or something like that. Or I think he's almost breaking the fourth wall and says, "Oh no, you're not telling me it's killer cats." It's kind of funny to see that. That was the best one by far. But there was a couple of other ones that were very good. There was one which was almost a silent episode, which is kind of brave, where they're trying to deal with technology that's gone awry, and they're dealing with like bots and drones and stuff like that, and trying to like get a good night's sleep, but the tech is like working against them. That was kind of a fun one as well. And there's a few others. There's ones where there's a very weird one that reminded me a bit of the Babadook of kids seeing like a weird figure who walks around and no one else could kind of see it. That was a cool one. But there's also a few poor ones too. You know, there's ones that crap the bed. Seasons are quite up and down. Season 10 had the same issues. There's certain episodes where they're trying to cram in so much story. It just feels like edited highlights of a better production. And it suffered, certainly the first and last episode suffered a little from that kind of problem. So, but I do like the X-Files. These aren't the best reboot, but there was at least one episode I'd consider a classic in this season, and similarly there was one episode in season 10 I'd consider a classic too. So it's not entirely crap in the bed. It's just not quite as good as it used to be, I don't think.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Over to you.
Okay. Now my next one, I've talked about it before on this show, But it's an anime series. It's on Netflix, and I enjoyed it so much I went and got the DVD.
Okay.
It's The Devil is a Part-Timer. Okay, now this is the story of a demon from like a fantasy realm that gets the hero attacks his castle and like forces him out. So he escapes through a portal to modern day Earth. Right. Where he discovers that his magic powers don't work because magic relies on the world around it being magic as well.
Okay.
And since there's no magic on Earth, he can't do anything. So he's kind of stuck. So he has to get a part-time job at McDonald's, or McRonald's in this case.
McRonald's, nice.
Yeah. And it's basically it starts off with him and his assistant Alciel, who they changed their names to be like sound the same but Japanese. Like Lucifer gets changed to Urushifa.
Okay.
Sort of thing. Satan himself takes on the name of Sado Mao, which is essentially Joe Satan in Japanese. It's about as close. That's the closest equivalent it could be.
Okay.
And slowly, people and things start to appear from the other world. So, like, some of his lieutenants show up and cause trouble.
Yeah.
So, some of the heroine that beat him and her allies start to appear, and because none of them have any magic, they start to have these really mundane fights with like a crafting knife and an umbrella sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So
like trying to fight each other in the streets, and then they immediately get arrested.
Yeah. And this is a TV series, right?
Yeah, it's a 13-episode TV series, I think it was.
Okay. And is it Japanese or is it dubbed? English?
You can get it dubbed.
Okay, what do you prefer?
I prefer it Japanese because the voices are so much funnier.
Yeah.
Like they're way more expressive.
Shouting, right?
Yeah.
There's always a lot of shouting.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. Yeah. So, what are they, 20 minutes?
Yeah, about that. It's for like a half-hour syndication, so half-hour like time slot. So yeah, about that.
So is it like a fish out of water kind of story?
It starts off it's framed like a fish out of water story, but they're able to like understand stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and it's they misinterpret stuff. So like when one of them is trying to show one of the like other people that comes through how to do stuff, like they'll go to this McDonald's and order like a coffee or something, and they'll like make their own tea, like to open up the sugar, spill a bit, and the person watching them will spill a bit too deliberately, and then like do a fist pump. So it's goofy stuff like this. I'm probably not selling it that well, but it's a good show. Watch it. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Cool.
It was on.
It's on Netflix. So. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then my next one is a comic. I got this on Comixology. I saw it and I thought, I've got to read that. And it's an Evil Dead comic. But it's more Ash, actually. And it was like a special, I think. It's called Revenge of the Evil Dead. And basically, it's lots of little sub-comics rolled into one volume where Ash fights various people or entities from different realms that have been possessed by the Evil Dead. Let me read you the roster of some of them. This is not all of them, but this is most of them. Hitler. We have Ash fighting Hitler in hell. So it's a bit like Freddy versus Jason, but instead of Freddy and Jason, it's Ash and Hitler, right? Okay, then. Dracula somehow crosses the Evil Dead, and Dracula's anti the Evil Dead, so it's kind of, Dracula fighting them too for a bit, and then getting stuck into Ash. The Martians from War of the Worlds, they get reanimated. They're being kept in a secret laboratory, a bit like Independence Day, and somehow the Evil Dead take over the Martians. So there's a bit of that. Jack the Ripper, Ash fighting Jack the Ripper, and Krampus. At one point, he fights Krampus, the Christmas spirit Krampus. That's just some of them, right? And it looks good and it's fun. It's not as good. By far, the best Ash comic I've read is Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. That's a really good comic book series, really good. But this was pretty fun, and it was just it's kind of similar style to Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. The story is fairly light because it was like, I don't know, 8 pages of story, and he's like fighting Hitler and stuff like that. And he, Ash, he kind of doesn't recognise Hitler at first. He thinks he's some dude. That's how he goes on. That's Ash all over, right? Did I mention? I haven't actually mentioned. I have watched Ash vs Evil Dead season 2 recently. That was good fun. Too. Okay. Anyway, I'm sidelining into that. The comic is on Comixology, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay, back to you.
Okay, so my next game is Warhammer End Times Vermintide. It's a video game for PC and I think PS4 and Xbox 360. But it's a Left 4 Dead clone, where in place of guns and fighting zombies, it's melee weapons and magic, fighting giant rat monsters from the Warhammer universe called the Skaven.
And it's called, Riptide?
Vermintide. Yeah, it's a pretty cool name. I bought it because it was recently on sale for £5 when it's normally something in the 20-30 regions. So
bargain.
Yeah, bargain. And it's a really fun game. You slowly start to get better and better equipment, so you can kill these things better, and all the sort of types from Left 4 Dead have been translated over well into lore-fitting ways. So, the hunter, which pins you down, becomes the assassin. Okay. The tank, which was this big burly gorilla thing, gets changed to a rat ogre. They all get translated in some way. My particular favourite of mine is the rattling gun, which is just a rat with a huge chain gun.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I personally main this guy called the Witch Hunter, because he can do this pretty nifty thing where he pulls out 2 pistols and just goes apeshit with them.
Like a Gunzerk or something?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, it's a really fun game. So is it
a first-person shooter or third-person?
Yeah, it's first-person hack and slash is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Because you got to block and defend and use power attacks when you can.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I highly recommend it. So
sounds good. Okay, that's your last one. My last one is a game too. We're kind of game central this week, aren't we? It's only come out recently. It's Far Cry 5. I was a big fan of 3 and 4. I haven't really played 2 or 1, in fact. But a big fan of 3 and 4. Been waiting for this one to come out a long time. But basically, this one is set in America. So it's instead of Africa or various jungles or whatever, we are in sort of Midwest, really, but in an area controlled by this dangerous cult. And you're kind of trying to bring
the standard Midwest then.
Yeah. So. It's Far Cry. There's not much difference to the other games other than it looks a lot nicer. There's some of the dynamics that I didn't like in the other games have been removed. I'm kind of glad. There's a lot of climbing up towers in the other games, which I find a bit monotonous and irritating, but there's more in this game. There's more, you're solving exploratory puzzles, like how to open this door to get into this place when it's electrified. It's that kind of stuff, but there's quite good bonuses for solving them, so it's quite kind of cool. In addition, you can have AIs as assistants in this one, so you can have one person who's say a sniper, or one who's good at detecting bad guys or whatever, but you can also actually have certain animals as assistants too. So there's a dog at one point, which is pretty good for sniffing out bad guys, but you can also get a cougar who takes bad guys down silently, which is pretty good. And a bear. You can have a bear called Cheeseburger, who goes on rampages if you send him into a camp full of bad guys, which is pretty cool. But you're kind of driving around, shooting bad guys, rescuing people. There's a lot of making sure you talk to everyone you encounter, because they're always giving you new missions. It's always, you should go look at this church. There's something weird going on here. And a new mission pops up. So there's a lot to be going from talking to NPCs, right? So it's fun. I like it. It's one I kind of crammed it for like the first 10 hours, and now I can feel like I could just pick it up and put it down, for an hour or two. And it's kind of fun. Occasionally you get stuck on missions where you're on the rails, so you cannot like just walk off and do something else. You have to play it through, which can be a bit irritating if you're only intended to play for half an hour. But you can always leave it and start again. But you know what it's like with games, you get to a certain point and you think, well, I want to finish this now because I don't want to have to do this again.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that. It looks good though, and I like the vibe they got for it. One of the things they're having is they're growing these weird drugs called bliss that grow from flowers, and there's an interesting effect that if you run through a field of those flowers, you start getting drugged up. And like
that sounds
weird.
pretty good.
And that's
is it like the bit in Far Cry 3, I think it was, where you had to burn cannabis fields with a flamethrower,
and
you just started getting high as hell.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. One of the things I like is you get extra bonuses for killing people in certain ways, killing bad guys in certain ways. For example, if you flamethrower 5 people, you get a bonus. So that kind of incentivizes you to be creative with your kills and like, okay, I'm just going to dynamite people for the next 10 minutes just to get that bonus, and it's kind of fun. But also makes you use weapons and tactics you wouldn't have considered, which is kind of fun too. There's a lot of zip wiring, grappling, running around. You can fly helicopters around once you get to a certain level. You can fly planes around. And there's a little lot of driving, and there's 3 massive areas where you're doing stuff. So I've kind of almost finished one area. So maybe the game isn't as long as I think it's going to be. Actually, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm enjoying it. Basically, the different areas are controlled by different members of this family, different brothers and sisters of this family. So it's kind of got that whole family cult vibe about it, and I kind of like it. Okay, so with Far Cry 5, that kind of winds up this show. So bye from both of us. We like to hear from our listeners at The Good, The Bad and The Odd, so if you have any thoughts on this week's topic or anything else movie or TV related, drop us a line at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Written or MP3 attached, we like both. We're available on Stitcher, iTunes, and as an RSS feed. Just go to www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com for links to these. Also, feel free to come chat with us by joining our Facebook group on www.facebook.com/groups/The Good, The Bad and The Odd, all as one word. Thanks for listening, and until next time on The Good, The Bad and The Odd.